What's up, everyone? Kevin Allen here, aka the Geek from DFS Army, and it is best ball season, and we're continuing with our complete coverage of just best ball, how to attack it, how to approach it, rankings, and all of that. And today we're going to be doing a live draft on Underdog. And to help me out, we've got Chris Ant, DFS Army staff member and best ball maniac. Chris, how many teams have you drafted so far?
Counting both DraftKings and Underdog, I am just about at 480.
480 teams. That is,
Yeah.
I love the dedication. Do you hand draft all of those, or are you auto drafting some of them?
No, never auto draft.
No auto draft. I don't
No.
mind an auto draft, by the way. It's fine to me. Because once I've done my rankings, time constraints.
Yeah, no,
I don't-
a lot of
I
people
don't-
don't have the time.
Yeah, I don't mind. And I do kind of want to show everybody a little bit about how to auto draft using rankings if you want. But before we even get into that, Chris, one of the big things that we're here to talk about is best ball strategy. We're going to draft the team as well on this breakdown and kind of go through the whole thing. I'm also going to show everybody how to upload your own rankings to Underdog so that they're there so you could see it, so you don't have to flip screens all the time. But what I want to talk a little bit about is generally your philosophy and approach. So there's a few different game types, and we're going to talk about these different game types. Chris, what are you doing that makes what is your approach to best ball? How do you win? What is your edge?
My edge is taking what the field is giving us in prices and determining whether that player is worth the value or not that they're going at a certain price. Like you'll have players like Sam Laporta or Travis Kelce. They'll be going in the second or third round on DraftKings and Underdog. Where to me, you can get that same kind of value with a top tier tight end, 2 or 3, maybe even 4 rounds later, depending on the guys that you like. So it's just really finding those spots where you can get value and also, bringing in those correlations to move you into that week 17 shot to have a chance at winning, the really big prizes.
Yeah, depending on the contest type, that is key. And so, yeah, ADP differentials are always going to be important. It's hard to get it super right. I have some spots I think that you and I actually probably really disagree on with ADPs. What I think in general is important is not to be exact for ADP. So for me, it's you just need a different team than what everybody's drafting in these tournaments if you're going to have a shot at winning it. And like 90% of people who are picking one are going to have like really similar drafts. Like you took Christian McCaffrey one, and then on the comeback, everybody's choosing between the same 4 or 5 players. So I think one of the things we want to do is make our teams look really different and take strong stands on spots where we disagree with it. I'll give you one of mine. I'm going to give you one of mine, just a general thing. I think the field is just completely wrong about the Houston pass catchers. And I know they're wrong because I've lived with, Peyton Manning and other great quarterbacks and 3 stud wide receivers. So they never could produce enough when there's 3 of them. And that's what we have in Houston. So I'm like way lower on the whole trio of Houston wide receivers than the field because there's no way 3 guys can get it done on one team. That's just how things are, right? So different than the field is important, right or wrong for me in terms of ADP.
Yeah, I like the fact that you bring up the Texans because I do agree with your point. You really have you have a few case scenarios where one team has made 3 pass catchers work, and that's I think it was the 2013 Broncos, Peyton Manning.
If we have to go all the way back to 11 years ago to find one, and that was the most epic quarterback touchdown throwing season maybe in the history of the NFL. With I think Peyton Manning threw an insane number of touchdowns that year that it was ridiculous. Like it could have been 46 or some. I almost remember it where it was like in the 40s. Like he had a year like never before. But that was the only time when that was even a discussion. And even Peyton Manning seasons with the Colts, they couldn't support all 3 guys. And as much as I love CJ Stroud, that's what I'm worried about there. But I don't want to get too deep into like individual players. I want to talk about these contests, Chris. So we're looking at Underdog. And in a second, I'm going to show everybody how to upload rankings. If you want, you don't have to do that, but it'll help. But I want to first talk about these different contest types. So when we look up here at the prime screen, and Underdog releases a lot of contests all the time. That is actually a cool thing. That's part of why we're doing this on Underdog and not DraftKings today. I don't really like drafting in a contest like on DraftKings where it's going to still be going in August, same contest, and people will be drafting with significantly more knowledge than what I have today in early July or mid-July. Fuck, it's mid-July. So let's talk about these Underdog contests. The first one here is called the Sprint, and then we have the Marathon. So starting with the Sprint, right? This one, you make the playoffs, and then in weeks 15 through 17, you get a cumulative score. So it's going to add up 15, 16, 17. We have the standard contest on Underdog, which is called the Best Ball Mania, and that's the same as the Puppies, where in these contests, you need to make the playoffs, and then your scoring resets 15, 16. So you have to smash the last 3 weeks of the season. So both are similar. One is a cumulative. The other one is each individual week of football counts. But both of those styles have heavily favored people who do a little bit of stacking and are paying attention to matchups in weeks 15 through 17. How much of that do you employ in your best ball approach?
100%. I'm mainly doing these puppy and BBM styles where it goes week 15, you reset into your own new pod, and then 16 you reset again, and then 17 you're in that big final group of however many people. I think BBM is around 560. I think the new fast puppy is around 380, but that is especially where you want to be stacking week 17 to really give yourself the best chance. Like, hey, I got these players. These players got me to this point. They're gonna be in this week 17 matchup. For example, Tampa Bay and Carolina. If you have a Baker, Evans, Godwin stack, you want to bring it back with someone like a Leggett, a Jonathan Brooks, some piece from that game, because you're going to need that game to go off in order for you to really have a shot at getting up to that top spot. So I'm looking to pair 6 to 9 guys in correlated games.
Here's your week 17. One of the challenges of trying to pick out, I think it's a challenge to try to pick out which game, now is going to be exciting in week 17. I mean, I think we could probably do a better job of picking games that will be bad. I see a lot of games that, could work out really well. I mean, here you go. Ravens at Texans. Yeah, why not? Sure. How about, Jets at the Bills? Maybe, probably not. Packers, though, at the Lions. That could be a big one. That could be great. Have no one thinking about it. Very stackable. Can get the quarterback here.
McCarthy.
I'm like McDaniels. I know it's Irish sounding. McCarthy and Lobby, easy to stack this game up a little bit. Dallas at the Eagles, that could be good or bad. So there's a lot of games here. I'd probably avoid maybe Browns home. I'd probably avoid Miami maybe. All right.
So like there was I think it was the Browns week 17 game last year. Everyone thought it was I think it was the Browns and the Jets.
Oh yeah, that by the way, in DFS too, that was the shocker of the season when Joe Flacco went off.
So when I'm drafting my teams, I don't look at these games and be like, all right, I want to target this game, and this game. I am building my teams off the bets I already made early on in my draft, to where if I'm right all the way through and I got to this, I'm still gonna need to be right on this game. So
all right. That was a really good point you just brought up. So now I want to expand on that. Are you allowing the wide receiver / tight end choice to drive your later QB choices, or vice versa?
You can go both. It can honestly go both ways. Like you can go Josh Allen, and then you're gonna want to later on stack on his wide receivers because they all go after him. Or you can draft someone like Chris Olave and Shaheed, and pick Derek Carr, who's like one of the last available quarterbacks you can draft. So it kind of goes along with which players you're picking and when, and how the draft is just going in general. And sometimes, more often than not, you might get sniped on your quarterbacks, and then you have to make other plans later on in the draft to be able to get some stacks.
Absolutely. And it's funny, that is a certain style of play for these. There's another style of play that says, I'm going to take value when I have it, and I'm going to just build a team of massive value. And hey, I'd love a little bit of correlation to happen as well, but that's not going to be my prime concern when building. I've seen some statistics and very similar. One of the things we do in DFS Army is we do a lot of back testing of DFS for weeks, for entire seasons. And we'll be doing that here on the DFS Army channel for our subscribers. We'll be going through the entire 2023 season in August here on the YouTube channel, and we're going to back test everything. And, a lot of what we're looking for is like, what won? Game stacks, team stacks. Was it a QB +1? Was it a QB +2 this week? How about a game stack? And it's different every week. It's not always a game stack. More often than not, it's not a game stack. It's a team. Or a QB with his wide receiver 2 was all that was in the winning lineup. So it changes every single week. It's not consistent. And I think there's a lot of ways to build these. I want to mention a couple of other contest types, Chris, because you talked about in a lot of what you're building, you're focusing on weeks 15 through 17, but also ADP advantages. So that's not the only thing. It's just like, let the draft come to me, and then we'll do an advantage ADP thing. But there's a couple other contest styles that are really different, that require a completely different approach. And I really like this. One is called Weekly Winners. It's a cool contest that they have on Underdog. And I think we should embrace this more than people have. But Weekly Winners, the way this one's set up, there's no cumulative scoring at all. all. Every single week is a new tournament. So for $10, this is an impressive contest, Chris. I like this one a lot. For $10, we get a brand new DFS tournament entry every single week. We're going up against a lot of people. But if you win the week and have the highest score out of anybody in the entire tournament, which is not easy to do, first place on a 10, 20 grand, right? And you have 18 chances for this over the course of 19, 18? 18 chances for this.
No, actually, it could only be through week 17 because that's when all the other contests end.
There it is. It does. So you get 17 shots at it, which is pretty freaking cool. I would say for this contest, building more intense stacks is probably better. So I would go all in on this idea correlation. I'll probably have 2 QBs, and then I want to build around. I want everybody built around those guys. Can't really worry about opponents, but you kind of want to build heavy correlation in something like this because you have to have the highest individual score. That's that week where Baker Mayfield goes crazy and Evans and Godwin both go bananas, and you have them all. And you're like, you know what? I got them cheap, and it went nuts. And, it'll happen 1 week over the course. That's really cool. And then there is the marathon. The marathon is my personal preferred way of doing best ball. And that is just a cumulative score that happens over the course of an entire season. There's no benefit or no increase in scoring on weeks 15, 16, 17. It's just a total cumulative score. The marathon is the exact opposite of what we just discussed with most definitely with the weekly and also with the BBM, where in the marathon, I actually believe that stacking is a negative. And what you want to do on the marathon is just build the strongest possible overall team with the best well-rounded group of players that can score points every single week, won't let you down. Pay a little bit more attention, I think, to bye weeks in a contest like that, where you really need to just be producing every single week. So you need to build a well-rounded. I love that. That's my personal favorite way.
I think I would still prefer to stack my quarterbacks with at least one pass catcher, because if Tyreek Hill is going to be having great season, he's likely to pull Tua along with him, especially at those prices. I mean, he could.
Is he? But I'm just going to say this. I'm going to throw a stat
at the value.
I'm just going to say this about Tua, right? Tua threw for the most yards of any QB last year. He was number 1. He was number 5 in touchdowns thrown. So he threw for the most yards out of any quarterback in the league and had the 5th most touchdowns. Yet somehow he was like QB 14 or 15 on the season. So there is an argument against, it worked a little different on DraftKings scoring because they give bonuses. But outside of DraftKings, Tua was like ruining your team effectively while having an epic season that he's unlikely to really even ever repeat. He had a year that's almost irrepeatable. So what happened there, right? If a quarterback is not able to rush the football at all and they don't run it, I don't care how many, they're not doing enough. So, but yes, of course you're right. My point is Tyreek Hill can go crazy.
It was a bad example.
Yeah. My point is Tyreek Hill can go crazy, and Tua just has just an okay day.
Yeah.
So yeah. One of my things I will say, I'll bring this from the DFS world, is you're much better off stacking with the secondary wide receiver. So when I have a QB in there, I'm much more interested in like the secondary guy, if there is one. So as an example, let's say with, I need to think of a good example for let's say with Aaron Rodgers, right? I don't necessarily think it has to be Garrett Wilson there. It could be Mike Williams. That might be that secondary or a tight end or something like that, just because that WR1 isn't enough.
Watson and Judy.
What's that?
Watson and Judy.
Could be that. Judy. Right. But yeah, it could be that. Yeah. Or Njoku maybe. And you look at like Baker and Godwin, somebody I spoke about before, like these secondary guys, or even something getting even crazier like Jaden McDaniels and Jahan Dotson, like going absolutely bonkers. Or even that tight end that they drafted, Ben Sano. I don't know how
Luke McCaffrey.
I'm not ready for that yet. That's too much. No, you went too far with that. You took it too far. All right. So we talked a little bit about, you took it a step too far. Luke is next year, but Justin Herbert, and give me a little Lad McConkey action. I'll do that.
Not Quentin Johnson.
No, not Quentin Johnson. No, actually, Palmer is one of my favorite. Josh Palmer is one of my top guys this year. He's in almost every draft that I've had so far. I don't understand it. Like, give me Josh Palmer after the 100 plus, and I'm like, thank you. for the free money until they figure it out that he's the WR1. He's Mike Williams in that offense and he's healthy. Like, he's going to do just fine. So, all right, what I want to show, we're about to do this live draft, guys. And I want to talk about two things. First, I'm going to show everybody right now just how to upload rankings because I need to refresh my rankings anyway. So if you're on Underdog, you're going to click on rankings, right? We're going to click on NFL and we're going to click on CSV upload. And this will take us to the rankings page. Now I'm going to go to DFS Army Best Ball Rankings. And this is where I have my stuff. Hey, listen, if you're in the chat, in the Discord, you can ask Chris. Chris will give you his rankings too, right there. Ask for that upload. Chris, you probably have rank. But I'm going to download this file, data 3, memorize the name. Boom. We're going to upload it, data 3, verifying IDs. Save it. And now as we're drafting, I'll be able to see my rankings simultaneous and I'll be able to scroll between that and, assuming I didn't break my computer, I'll be able to scroll between that and the ADP. So for each pick, we'll have an idea of, what the rankings kind of say at that moment. So with that being said, let's jump into one of these drafts. Which one do you want to do, Chris?
Well, if we want to just go big or go home, we can do the BBM. And
yeah, I'll just do the fast puppy because
the clock is faster though. So if you're, it's a 20-second clock instead of 30.
Oh, this one has 20.
Yeah.
I just
if you're okay with the 20 seconds, I'm okay with 20 seconds.
No, we're discussing it. I need the 30 second. Like I like everybody else, but we're doing a live stream. You haven't done this like this before, Chris. It's not, it's not as easy to do this when you're streaming. So let's jump in.
That's 20. That's 20.
This is 20 seconds. Fast. Yeah, but this is a puppy. Fast puppy. All right. Oh, is the slow puppy 30 seconds?
No, slow puppy's 8 hours.
Oh, no. We'll do the fast puppy. We'll do the 20 seconds. So,
okay.
All right. We will do this fast puppy, 20 second. Let's get in there. And hopefully they fill.
You might have to enter on your phone. I have to do that sometimes.
No, I never have that issue. Wait, they're not going to do this to me. Not here, not now. How dare you? Never had a problem with it before. No, we'll get in there. Hang on. So here we go. We are in the fast puppy, and we're going to do a draft. And I just want to. Starts at 54 seconds. So look how quickly that filled up. First of all, there's no wait. Boom. We hit the button. We're in. Now I want to show a couple things. I've got the ADPs going over here. I've got my rankings on this side. ADP over here. You could sort by either one, right? I can choose either one to sort by. It's important because as I'm able to look through this, especially as we get down lower, I'll start to see, oh yeah, I like this guy a lot more. Or I might say, Chris, I have this guy ranked high, but when I'm on the clock and the gun is to the head, I picked somebody else and then I'll generally adjust my rankings after that. So we are live. We are going. We're in the best ball fast puppy, which favors or where the scores reset for weeks 15 through 17. So we have to think about those last 3 weeks and getting through those last 3 weeks. Want to build some correlation and some stacks for those final weeks and kind of work off of that. So looks like, Chris, we're picking third overall. McCaffrey goes first, CeeDee Lamb goes second, and this is just a pretty easy choice here.
I'm good with either Hill or Chase.
Yeah, I'm going with Tyreek because he's fucking Reek and he's awesome and he puts up 30 points every week. And, I like a start like this. Now, one of the things I can talk to you about is when I've drafted these, I find that we go into a bit of a dearth, like a weird, what I call a flat tier. We hit a flat tier right around sort of the end of round 2. I'm going to say about pick 24. So I think it'll be our round 3 pick where we're kind of in a flat tier where I don't really differentiate much between the players in round 3 and round 4, or even, they're kind of all the same. You get past the elite wide receiver zone. Oh my God, look at that. Puka Nacua 1.7.
Yeah, we're gonna need to watch this room. This could be a wide receiver heavy room where
Bijan goes 1.8. Brees Hall still on the board. Really, guys? So Brees Hall still on the board all the way to 111. That is a value for Tiny Mansur, this guy who's drafting here. By the way, for those of you guys watching this, I've linked in the description below 3 more contests on Underdog that you can go up against me. Chris, you might be in some of those as well, but we're just drafting leagues, DFS Army members, the YouTube watchers, having some fun. So I linked those in the description below, and you can see here, I've got a few of these going right now, 9 out of 12, 4 out of 12. So I continue to open these up and throw them in the comments section so that we can, you guys can join leagues. They're 12-man leagues, $5 entry, $55, whatever it is, right? It's just a small league and you're not in the big tournament. You just beat me and the other 8-9 people in there and make some money. So
go to draft so you can open this draft up.
What do you mean?
At the bottom right, go to draft in the green.
Oh shit.
So it opens up.
Yeah, there we are. Okay, good. So looks like some interesting. The big faller here was Brees Hall, pick 11. That's crazy. Jahmyr Gibbs. Worth noting that this format is half PPR, and it actually does favor running backs, but the field loves taking wide receivers first. So that's interesting. I like Jonathan Taylor there.
Yeah.
At
So
2.3.
what I'm getting from this room already, just by like seeing what's going on, is we might want to avoid running back at rounds 2 and 3 as well, because what could happen is that we're gonna get in a wide receiver avalanche room because Mike Evans just went off too, and Debo.
There's Debo early. Ayuk and Debo both going kind of, I mean, before Devontae Adams, that's bananas to me. I have them ranked below Cooper Kupp. That is wild.
So we
Nico
are on the
Collins.
clock.
Oh my
Can you
God.
sort by ADP?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, you got Waddle.
Yep, I'm fine with Waddle for the double stack or Devonta Smith. Either one is fine with me.
I'm going to go. Actually, I don't mind. Yeah, Waddle and the stack. We might be forced here. Could have gone Achane as well, but actually, I might take Achane on the turnaround and just go crazy Miami here. I think Achane's a bit of a reach this season where he is. I have him ranked a little bit lower than his ADP, but I mean, the field is doing weird stuff in this one. I mean, Nico Collins there, I told you in the beginning, this is an ultimate reach. We're not here to critique these people, but yeah, I don't know about all that. I tend to go the other way. I think the play here with everybody reaching for wide receivers this early, we got a good one still. Where are we?
I would still go with the wide receiver here, just because we're gonna get some value
on the
later
clock.
at running back.
Yeah, here we go. All right, I'll take my guy here, Malik Neighbors. Yeah, I love Malik.
Fine.
So, all right, we are loaded up at wide receiver after 3 picks. We got Tyreek Hill, and actually, I love picking Malik Neighbors because I don't know if you know this, Chris, but I'm a Daniel Jones enthusiast this year.
I was a hater.
I have the Danny Jones in every draft so far.
I was a hater, but now I'm coming to it.
Did you watch my QB video? Dude, this guy, when he's healthy, he does fine, and you're taking him with the last pick. What's the worst that happened? When he was healthy in 2022, he had a string of games where he put up 30 plus every single week for like the last 5 weeks of the season. And then last year he just got hurt, and he never had a wide receiver. So we are moving fast and furious through this draft. There goes Kyron Williams, Zay Flowers reach, Tank Dell reach. These guys are reaching like this is a freaking massage with a happy ending, and they're giving a reach around. So the reaches, Chris.
Yeah, I mean these wide receiver heavy rooms, it'll be like that. And
look at that, Pittman, Pacheco still there. Look at my rank on him. We're gonna have to take Pacheco in the next pick based on just my own rankings of these players.
I don't think he'll be there, but he could be. Depending on how this room is going, he could be there. More likely, Andrews will be there on our next pick.
Oh, I like Andrews too. So let's see. Yeah, let's see what happens here. You know, I'm flipping from ADP. I'm not going to take a QB this early at all. And I'm not a big T Higgins sort of supporter. It's funny because, again, Underdog is very much touchdown dependent format. And yet everybody's just going crazy on the wide receiver position. So let's see how many picks we have left if we can steal Pacheco. If not, yeah.
The only thing that we have to watch out with Pacheco is that he has the same. We just don't want to run into a spot where we have too many weeks to buy.
Oh, well, yeah, but
I'm not saying it's a concern right now if we pick him, just later on.
He's also week 6. Yeah, there it is. And we already have Miami on week 6. So that is something to raise an eyebrow at. It is really, really critical. There goes Christian Kirk. Like, what? Oh, there goes Pacheco. We still have Mark Andrews, who is a touchdown machine if we can get him here. Let's see what happens.
It's either this guy will take Mark Andrews or there you go.
ETN. Yeah, I thought it was between Andrews and ETN. So I'm going to take Andrews here. Touchdown machine. You know, absolutely the next player, man up in my rankings. So we're sticking with the game plan for the most part right now. One thing, Chris, I'm concerned about, we're 4 picks in. We haven't taken a running back yet. We're kind of doing what the room is doing, which I don't love. I'd rather be contrarian a little bit. But
so every single big contest winner like this has drafted at least 4 wide receivers in the first 7 rounds.
Yeah.
Every year. Every single BBM that's occurred, that's what's happened so far. And then this year, where we got, we can get quality running backs in round 7, 8, and 9, where you're going to get into that pocket, which will be in that pocket if we continue to draft running back or wide receiver. So, I think we're going to favor that outcome over if we start getting a little bit behind at wide receiver.
I'm looking at Hollywood Brown sitting there for us. Just waiting on this next.
He's a week 6 buy, though. So we're just going to, this one thing we have to watch out for.
After Hollywood, we're going to have to be careful on week 6, but I'm looking at Hollywood Brown. No, they got him. Shit, right before our pick. I was left completely unprepared.
We can go Jaden Reed, or we can go with Trey McBride.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going Jaden Reed. Trey McBride is second early tight end. I'm not doing that either. I think this is a spot where I'm going to go premium QB with. Oh, it took Rashad. I moved too slow, and it took Rachaad White for me. You know what? It followed my own ranking there, so I'm going to allow it. But that sucked. 20-second clock, Chris. Should have warned me. It's too fast. You can't talk through the pick. There's no time to talk through the pick. You just got to make your pick. You talk about it. Got to do it. All right. In this one, we're going to have to talk about the pick before it hits. But guys, we are rocking through the fast puppy here on Underdog Fantasy. I've got Chris with me. We're talking Underdog Best Ball. It's All-Star break. If you're watching this the day we made it, it's during the All-Star break. There's not a whole lot going on. So it is time to draft some best ball teams, and that's what we're doing here. Kyle Pitts, Pat Mahomes. Jaden Reed is another guy, by the way. He's massively overvalued. I'm not drafting him. That's why
I don't have that much of him either.
Yeah, I don't draft Jaden Reed. I don't like him. It's not that I don't like him. I think he is in extreme risk of losing out on touches to Christian Watson, who I think is better than him when he plays. So
that's how I feel about Rachaad White later on in the season.
No, I don't know. I think Rachaad White is going to be just fine, and they like Rachaad. I don't like the rookie there. He'll be fine. I think so anyway. I don't know. He wasn't that great last year. They improved the offensive line. I think he'll be better this year than last year, but we'll see. Who the hell knows, right? I was thinking about Anthony Richardson with that last pick, and look, he's still hanging around. So for me, I'm just going to talk about my QB philosophy, which is unless it's somebody like Anthony Richardson who runs and can get you 30 plus points in a game, I don't see any reason to take them during the premium rounds when I can still get really good position players. There goes Joe Mixon. All right, running back is starting to thin out, and we don't have any. So
we got White, and I think we're good on running backs.
Actually, we have one. I didn't realize. Yeah. So we have
I think we're good on backs till like round 8, 9.
I have a couple guys.
I think we want to get wide receivers here.
All right, let's take a look at the wide receivers. We'll bring them up. Oh, my boy McConkey is there. Love him. Christian Watson, who I talked about, league winner. Xavier Worthy, potential league winner. So I love Christian Watson this year. How do you feel about Christian Watson? He's one of my guys that I'm taking a lot. Even though I know he's risky, I don't care. This is a freaking tournament. Winner, you go home. I don't care about the riskiness of his health.
Yeah, nope. He's the kind of guy who can put up 25 points, 2 touchdowns in 1 week, and he can get you there. I agree with this Christian Watson pick if that's where you want to go.
Yeah, let's go with Watson there. And again, the thought process being C. Watts, if he stays healthy, elevates beyond the WR, 30 position that we just took him at and ends up with WR 10/WR 15 points totals for the season. Or even better, has some spike weeks. And that's all we really need in best ball anyway, is just those spike weeks when he does play and he is healthy to put up a good number.
Can you sort by ADP here just so I can see who's on the board?
Wait, I don't know what the hell just happened. Hang on. ADP. So sorting by ADP right now. Let's see here. We've got.
I like JSN here. JSN or Coleman.
Let's go Coleman. I need upside draft. Did I get him? Yeah. All right.
So what you can do, a little tip.
Skew him up.
Skew him up.
It's hard to do this. Again, for those of you watching, this is extra challenging when you're doing it on a video. It's not the same thing. You're trying to speak and think about what
you got the harder side of this of this coin. I'm just here looking and trying to guide.
There we go.
You're here manning you're doing all the work here.
So all right. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 solid stud tight end, and no quarterbacks as of yet. So as we continue, I think right now we need to focus in a little bit on the running back position and keep an eye on QB to see if a value is there. Like if Kyler Murray is hanging around, I think the QBs are going to start to go pretty soon. There goes Kyler Murray.
I think what we got to do with our next 2 picks is we're going to go running back with one of them and then get Jaden Daniels with the other one.
I would love to get.
If you like Jaden Daniels.
Love Jaden Daniels. Would love to get him. Let's see. His ADP is 101. So look at my ranking of him to let you know that I love the guy. I've got him at 84. So I have him significantly above what the field is. And I have him ahead of a lot of other QBs for exactly the reason I've been talking about the whole time, because he's worth it. So I'm looking at the RB position, I think.
Yep. I would only look at RB right here.
Yeah. And we've got, let's see, Zamir, who I have ranked really high. I like Zamir White. I don't love James Conner or Warren all that much. So I'm going to hope that Zamir is still there. Devin Singletary down here is somebody else I always tend to draft. I don't mind Brian Robinson down here, but let's see if we can get Zamir White. If we can't, I think we'll have to pivot Fuck. All right, he's gone.
I like Swift or Moss the most out of these guys. If you want a true starter or Jalen Warren after that.
Even Raheem Mostert, by the way, is not bad. Let me just compare it. See, we got a few picks left. Really not much happening here. There's Josh Palmer, who I like to take late. Tight end, not anything super exciting on the board right now. And at QB, we're still, what pick are we at? We're pick number...
We're going to be 94 and
89,
98.
94, 98. And this is another thing, guys, to pay attention to. Look at the ADP, look at the pick number, and understand who's going where. There's still quite a few quarterbacks left, but I'm not sure how many of these guys are going to be there on my next hit. I think I'll be able to get one of them. So RB.
I like Zach Moss here or Pollard. I don't think we want Mostert with with the Waddle and Hill.
Too much Miami exposure at that point. I kind of like Mostert, but it's too much Miami exposure at that point.
So right now I would queue up Jaden Daniels because we're going to get him here.
There we go. All right, let's get him in the queue. And Jaden Daniels is our guy. And Jaden Daniels will be our anchor quarterback on this team. Funnily, interestingly, we didn't get any stack partners for Jaden Daniels, but he is a running quarterback. That matters less. And we might grab a Jahan Dotson
or a Luke McCaffrey later.
I don't know about Luke, but Jahan, who's that tight end over
He's doing good.
We're on the clock. Here we go.
Yep, we have him queued, so it was all good.
But
no, Luke McCaffrey is the wide receiver 3 is a very open spot.
You mentioned his name, dude. I love Luke McCaffrey. As you think he's going to play? You think he's going to get?
I think he's going to start
this year.
Oh yeah.
All right. Remind me of Luke McCaffrey as we get late. I like his brother, so why not?
Yeah, a little nepotism doesn't hurt sometimes.
I think he's a talented guy. I'm not sure he's ready to contribute year one. All right, so let's take a quick look at ADP, sort by ADP, right? And at this point in the draft, you got Brian Robinson. He's gone. But Romeo Doubs is an interesting one. Devin Singletary is probably my next guy that I want to take here. If you look at my rankings, he's a flag plant guy for me. One of these players I'm trying to draft a lot of. And not because he's going to generally get us a spike week. I don't think that's going to happen. But people forgot that he's the starting running back for the Giants. And they don't have anybody else. I get it. It's the Giants and they suck, but they don't have another guy. So if I can get this guy, let's see. Yeah, if I go by my rankings for running backs, Devin Singletary's the last.
I think by the time it's our pick, we're going to be looking at Javonte Williams and Gus Edwards.
Oh man, I hope not. But Gus Edwards, I think, is acceptable as well. Let's see what happens. Because remember, ADP for Singletary is not, super high. So
we're right there. We're at 110. We're almost at 110. And he'll probably go pretty soon. He's one of my favorite clicks on the board. Yeah, I am double the field on him.
I love hearing that because that's one of my guys on the year. Yeah, he's probably going to get nabbed right before we go, but he's a starter.
How you can tell, just for everyone listening, is how your exposures relate to the field. 8.33% is going to be your field average because it's you got 18 round and there's 12 people in your pod, so you're going to divide it out. That's 8.33%. So when I'm saying I'm double the field on a player, that means I'm going to be like 16%, 16.5, around that range on that running back or player. So there are definitely a few players here and there where I'm double, some on DraftKings triple the field, quadruple the field, just because I think the price is very inefficient.
I'm already seeing here, Austin Eckler is somebody I'm going to move down in my rankings from where he's at. It's funny that
you can get him in like the 140s.
Yeah, I don't think he's a very good pick. They're so sharp on Underdog. It's crazy because on DraftKings, Austin Eckler is going much earlier. We've got next up in terms of ADP is pretty much Gus Edwards. There he goes. He's gone. And we're 2 picks away. We really need a running back here. And we could use a guy who's
what wide receivers are up right now? Are available too.
Actually, I can probably get Palmer as well. Oh, no time.
I would queue up Brandon or Jerry Jeudy. Get Jerry Jeudy.
It's too late. All right,
start.
Get him. All right, we'll grab him. But I actually think we should have taken a running back there.
Oh, so the reason why is I'm looking ahead. Look at the guys ahead of us. They only have 4 wide receivers, and they already have 3 running backs. And this guy has 2 tight ends and 2 running backs. So I'm looking ahead of what these guys are likely to pick.
Let's find I see that. That's a sharp approach, by the way. So you're kind of looking at the ones in between, especially when you have 2 picks close together, and these 2 guys, we could just kind of know what they're about to do. We need a running back here, though, pretty bad. Yep. I think Man, I'm scared of with Jerome Ford, but I
I
think
like Ford, Elliott. I like all of them.
yeah,
Any one of those clicks right there at the top.
touchdown scorer. Zeke Elliott just goes. I'm going to take Ford here. And if Nick Chubb drops, I think maybe back him up with Chubb. There's a couple of guys I like late. At this point, we're going to have to look at like the late guys. Some of my late round running back. We have 2 starters anyway, but it's a little thin. Maybe Cincinnati.
That's where you get like the winners. Like, there are some deep in the draft late guys where that's for like the winning.
And losing picks. But yeah,
No,
you know,
you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I'll throw some names out. Potential league winners. I'll put Marshawn Lloyd in that mix if Jacobs gets hurt.
Even if he doesn't, he still
Could
has
be.
good value. McCarthy and that 2 running back offense.
Kendry Miller could wind up being the main running back in New Orleans at some point. Sure. Ty Chandler is somebody I'm really interested in this year because I don't think that Aaron Jones is a healthy player. Like, he gets hurt all the time. And we could see Ty Chandler, who looked pretty good in limited action last year, just fully take that role. So those are some names. Let me look at wide receiver here. So interestingly, they're so sharp on this site. Palmer's long gone at this point, and wide receivers we're looking at, there's Jahan Dotson, sketchy guys. Xavier Legette, sketchy rookie. I like rookies though. Rookies are a lot of times what you see people kind of getting lucky with in these tournaments. Like,
rookies tend to break out later in the season.
Yeah.
You see it every year.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the tight end spot and see what's left here. It's getting pretty thin at tight end as well. Ben Sinnott is somebody I mentioned before as like a potential stack partner, but
we don't want to take him because we have Mark Andrews, who has the same bye week.
Oh shit, that is important to pay attention to as
we
well.
We probably want to queue up.
Let's see if we can get Cole Kmet here. Who else?
Yeah, I would wait even later on tight end if it were me personally, just for some of the value guys. But we're definitely going to want to get Deshaun Watson on this, and someone took Tua with no wide receivers.
What's that? Deshaun Watson?
We have Jerry Jeudy and we have that week 17 stack, but we're not going to take him yet. We want to get another running back right here.
You can wait a long time for Deshaun. I'm just looking at what other QBs are starting to get a little bit thin though. But again, my late guys are here: Daniel Jones, Drake May. Mm-hmm. Those are guys I like late, and I think with our anchor QB, I'm not super worried about that position anymore. I would like to maybe, man, I hate.
I like Lloyd. I think I would go Lloyd, or Chandler's still there. I'd like Chandler.
Yeah, Lloyd is gone. Let me go with my rank again. Chandler. I got Jaleel, Jalen Wright. I don't want to forget about him. And then ADP right now. Nick Chubb is the next one up on ADP.
So we shit. We took
Ultimate because. All right, hold on.
Queue up Ty Chandler. He's not going to get picked.
All right, hang on. Let's get him in there. Yeah, guys.
You can also press that star instead of opening up that box.
Oh, okay.
On the side to queue.
You see how quickly this. I think, Chris, it's really important to have your rankings uploaded because this is coming at you fast and furious.
Yeah,
and
these 20 seconds is no joke. Try doing
we're
like
up again
seconds.
here.
I would go Jaleel McLaughlin here or Kendra Miller, whichever one you like.
Oh, Kendra, league winner. Let's go. All right, so we now have 4 running backs. 3 are kind of starters, and I might be able to back up Jerome Ford with Nick Chubb later. We've got 1 QB. We've got 2 tight ends. We're pretty set here. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers. So right now, I think what we need to do, we need pretty much 1 more running back at some point. Wide receiver always could use some beefing up. Could use at least 1 more QB, maybe 2.
Yeah, it depends on if you want to go 2 or 3 QBs here.
Yeah.
No matter what, we're only taking 1. Well, actually, we're not taking any more tight end. You can probably just leave that unchecked. We're done.
Yeah. We'll see what happens like at the very, very end with that last pick. I don't necessarily hate a 3rd tight end either. I've gotten zeros from tight ends when they get hurt, and Mark Andrews is a gets hurt a lot guy. So he's a little sketchy. If there's a tight end value, I think we can grab it.
My process on this is that, since we spent such high capital on Mark Andrews, if he gets hurt, we're not winning anyways. We already lost that 4th round pick.
That's fair. Yeah. If your high pick fizzles out, you probably ain't winning anything anyway. Let's see here. Rashad White, Zach Moss. I'm just looking to see if any of these guys are really.
Deshaun goes.
We can back them, stack them, not back them up, not stack them, but handcuff. But there's really no handcuffs for any of these guys. Like there's a handcuff for Zach Moss. He's already gone. There's no.
I think we're gonna want to get Daniel Jones here soon because I don't know if he'll make it to like our next 2 sets of picks.
Really? Let's see here.
Where's Daniel Jones go? Yeah. Oh, he's only going 193.
193. He doesn't get drafted at all. That's what I'm saying. We can get Danny Jones.
On DK, he's higher. He's higher. So
interesting. Sharper people on DK, maybe. We're at pick number 160. So when we look at ADP, we can understand, oh, okay, who's going to go soon? All these QBs are probably going to get nabbed here really quick. Ray Davis, RB, really? That guy goes there? So Adam Thielen, not a good pick. Chuba Hubbard, Not a great pick. Gibson on New England, no. Bucky Irving. I mean, that's your back. I don't really want to draft the handcuff for Zach Moss,
Yeah,
but that would be it.
I don't want to. I don't like drafting handcuffs when you spent a high pick on the
Yeah.
running back.
You're losing anyway if that guy goes out. I just don't like, not that player. I like handcuffs, but not that one. Let's see here. Who's available at wide receiver? Let me do my ranks. Oh, okay. Michael Wilson, Troy Franklin. I like both of these guys.
I like Michael Wilson and Luke McCaffrey here.
I'm going to go with your Luke McCaffrey pick. I think we could wait another round, but whatever. I think we probably could have waited certainly one more to this pick here, but we're going to have to pick again real quick. We are now at 7 wide receivers. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. So now we need a QB. RB, QB. Let's see what the QB position has.
I think we go RB here, and then we get quarterback with 2. We get 2 quarterbacks with the last 2 picks.
Not loving
the last 3.
These RB choices. Nobody here I really particularly like.
For me, if it would be, can you sort by ADP?
Yeah, I don't
like. That'd be Elijah Mitchell for me.
Yeah, I don't like the script at all. I'm out on that. Let's go. Let's make sure we get our QB here. I see the QBs are just getting scooped up. There goes Troy Franklin. We've got Michael Wilson as well, but I think we go QB. Let me get my guy, Danny Jones. Again, this is a little bit of an early take on him, but I don't mind going away from ADP a little bit. Our team's going to look a little different from everybody else, which is what you want in a tournament. So now we have Daniel Jones. We've got him stacked with Malik Neighbors. Could we continue? Oh, you know what? Okay. We've got him with Malik Neighbors. Is Wan'Dale Robinson still here?
No, Wan'Dale goes in like the 160s.
He's already gone.
But Hyatt and Slayton will still be there.
Yeah, they stink though. I don't want those stacks. And the Giants don't really have a tight end of note. So we've got Jaden.
Not that we know of.
Yeah, no one of note there. So I'm just going to start to look at the board right now and see if there's any sort of general value in any position group. So let's sort by regular ADP. Yeah, here it is.
If you want to get silly for the millie, there's one quarterback on the board that we could try.
Drake May is my silly for the millie guy. Who do you like as your silly for the millie QB?
Justin Fields.
No, that's too silly for me.
Silly for you?
Yeah, that you took it too far. I get it though. I get it, but no, it's a step
low exposure under the field for sure. But it's that silly.
GPP only.
Yes.
With Justin Fields, that's what we do. That on the showdown.
Week 17 against the Chiefs, down by 20.
It's not out of the. You know who I think we should take here? I think it's Ben Sano.
Yeah, we can do it here.
I'm going to cue him up and see if we can't get him to pair him up with Jaden Daniels. I think that wouldn't be the worst move. I like Drake May as well. You can see here.
Something that we could do is we can go Derek Carr and Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, that'd be okay as well. You know what? My brand is not pro Derek Carr.
Okay,
that's a brand thing. It's like I can't drink Bud Light when you know me for Blue Moons. I can't take Derek Carr. It's too off brand. People will be like, who is he? What did he do with Kevin? So I don't like that. I like Drake May though. Drake May, people don't know about Drake May. They don't know about the Dre. People forgot about Dre.
My highest exposed QB on
both
both
shit.
sides.
You haven't forgot about Drake?
No.
Oh,
no. He's my highest guy on both sides.
Oh, all right. I like that. So here's what I like about Drake May as your QB3. People don't know that Drake May is a running quarterback. Oh, what? That's right. The guy has legs. His comparable is Josh Allen, and he's got an arm, he's got legs, and he's got some weapons. No one likes him because they think of New England as this team where, and now I want to see about
Javon Baker, please.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Well, as all that's left is Baker. Oh, damn.
Oh well, there's going to be Baker, KJ Osborne, and Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, no, I like.
I think so. Everyone is right now with how ADPs are. Everyone is basically betting the farm that Polk is going to be the wide receiver 1, and Baker just went. So we can go. I would go running back here, and we can get a last round wide receiver.
Wait, it's too late. I wasn't paying attention. Where's the
Braylon
guy? Wait, my rank. No, Keaton Mitchell.
Go for it.
All right. Get in there. Okay. I lost all concentration. I was looking for Jalen Polk, and he's gone.
Oh, Polk goes in the 130s.
Yeah, that messed me up. Kendrick Bourne has done some damage for me in the past, but I think actually the right move would have been the best guy with Drake May might be Hunter Henry, but he's also gone. So
yeah,
guys are just going fast and furious. That is how it goes. These drafts are crazy, man. It comes at you quickly. And if you're trying to speak and talk strategy through it, it's
20 seconds is really fast.
How many picks left here?
One.
we're on our last one. 3 QBs. We've got 5 running backs. We've got 7 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. So wide receiver or tight end would be the only places to look for the last spot. I am not down with Jalen Hyatt at all. Jatavian Sanders is mildly interesting, but I don't know about him.
For me, it would be RB or wide receiver.
I'll open up RB to see if there's anybody even.
Audric Estime is my guy right now.
Okay.
Before he starts going in like the 170s.
All right. You know what? I can get down with Audric Estime. The other choice I would have looked at is
or DJ Chark.
Yeah, they just took that other dude that I was about to take.
For me, it's Estime or Chark on our next pick.
I think Kendrick Bourne. Yeah, wait a minute.
One of those 3.
Bourne. It's Bourne. Bourne has done damage for me in the past, and he's a good big play wide receiver. I don't know if he's even going to play at all, but we have Drake May on the team at this point. We want another wide receiver. Or a tight end. You're a 2 tight end guy?
If I have a premium tight end, yeah, it's going to be 2.
This is the last pick?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you can also you can I mean if Andrews gets hurt, your team is going to be most likely done anyways. So like you're making the bet that Andrews is staying healthy all 17 weeks.
Yeah, but I also I like more scorers for each position, but just more volume of tight ends in particular. But like with the Packers, for example, like is it Kraft? Is it the other guy? Colby Parkinson, kind of interesting. But all right, let's go with Kendrick Bourne for the big upside. If he could be a complete dud, but last pick in the draft. Let's see what the other options would have been for like Mr. Irrelevant. So I'm just going to look at what players are available at the very end of the draft here. I think it's an interesting thing to pay attention to. So, I mean, there's Darius Slayton. He's still there. Taysom Hill, who's always a useful kind of a guy, but not as a QB. I don't like that. They have Taysom Hill as a QB, not a tight end, which I don't like. JJ McCarthy there at the very end. So starting QBs, you could wait till the last 3 picks and get 3 starting quarterbacks for your team. Like the draft ended, there's still some, Baker Mayfield, Jaden McDaniel, like there were guys left that were available still. So that's interesting. There it is. The poodle, the fast puppy, done. Reminder again, I'm launching these leagues for everybody to join, get in against each other, get in against yourselves. I'm posting the links here in the description to this video. And of course, in the DFS Army Discord as well, as we're talking best ball season. Chris in the Discord talking best ball season. Final thoughts, Chris?
We got our stacks in. I mean, I think the draft came at us a little bit fast just with the 20-second clock, but we got our stacks in and we got a good team overall. I think,
all 3 QBs, legs.
Yep. Rushing upside.
3 rushing quarterbacks, fine. I think RB, my hindsight is this. RB looks a little bit soft to me, especially in this format. I think that going forward, if the draft is going as heavy wide receiver, especially as what happened in this one, there might be benefit to actually accepting. Like, had we picked at the end of round 1 and Breece Hall was there, I'm taking Breece Hall all day.
Oh, 100%.
Like
yeah.
Those guys who dropped, I would have loved it. I like the Derrick Henry types in this format as well. So it's just kind of how the draft came together. Like maybe here, the Waddle pick, especially on a team with Tyreek Hill, redoing this, maybe I could have gone running back there and maybe got a little studlier guy for my anchor running back, and then figured out a different wide receiver a little later. So
yeah, the way I look at these kind of drafts is that, and on Underdog specifically, in the first 7 rounds, you have 2 detours you can make, which detours are non-wide receivers. So you're either going to take a running back, a quarterback, or a tight end as your detour.
I call it the luxury pick, a luxury tight end, a luxury quarterback. You take a shot. Luxury. Shouldn't probably be doing it, but you do it. That's the luxury pick. That's what
I fully every single draft I want to get at least 4 wide receivers within those first 7.
Yeah, I think that's what we did.
Yep. No, we got that. We did it. We got 5 through 8, I believe. Keon Coleman came in.
We got 5 in the first 7 rounds. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe squeezed 1 extra one in there, where looking at the result of this and doing it again, I would have just replaced one of these guys maybe with a little more power at the RB position.
Go to view full draft, bottom right, and then open up that tic-tac-toe grid. So let's look at it like this. So we're at pick 3, Jalen Waddle. Let's leave that grid open so we can do a little 2v2 swap.
Can you see it? Oh, you're not seeing it. Hold on.
No, I can't see that.
That's bizarre. Hang on. Let me change the screen share here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there it is. So it's up on the board.
And I like to do this too for myself all the time. So where could I have made my team better? Where could things have gone a little bit different? Would I have liked this team a lot more? Because at the end of the day, even though I'm drafting a ton of teams every day, I make mistakes here and there. Yeah, no one's perfect. So like we're gonna look back at this Jalen Waddle pick.
Could have
You
taken
know,
Barkley, right? Barkley was sitting right there. Could have been fine. Or
I would prefer Henry over Barkley.
yeah,
I would
Henry.
prefer Achan over Barkley. I'm just not a Barkley guy.
Yeah,
For me
that's
personally,
just personal
that's a player
preference.
take.
I have Barkley just ahead of Henry, but I do have Henry ranked very aggressively, and I love him in this format in particular. I think Henry's like gonna get us 15 touchdowns this year, maybe more. We could have a 20 touchdown year from Derrick Henry. People don't realize that.
Oh yeah,
This
I
isn't
agree.
Jalen Hurts. Like I get why you don't like Barkley because Hurts takes the tush push touchdown once a week, where the Ravens don't do that. They
Nope.
don't want to push Lamar Jackson
Lamar.
into
Yeah,
the end
he'll
zone.
break in half.
They don't operate that way. It's really, really different teams. So yeah, I love the Henry pick. So just this looks a lot different. If we take Derrick Henry here,
And then we don't take Rashad White, but who at wide
Hollywood Brown
receiver?
or Calvin Ridley, whatever.
So, so I'm not a Calvin Ridley guy personally, but I would have taken Calvin Ridley there,
Yeah,
especially if
I would have.
if we both agreed that we don't like Jaden Reed.
I don't like Jalen Reed at all. I would never take him. And then you see what happens here. There's a dearth of wide receivers. Right after Calvin Ridley goes, it's Jaden Reed, who I don't like. And then look at the board. Chris Godwin, who I don't like. Roma Dunze, who is not a priority pick. And Lad McConkey actually would probably have been my guy. And I probably would have reached for McConkey over here. McConkey is Keenan Allen 2.0. I'm super excited about him.
So what I would have done in this one is I would have called 2 premium tight ends and just been done with tight end for the rest of the draft.
Different way to go. Yeah. So
So by the statistics, it's not good for advance rate, like advancing out of your initial pod, but this is a different year. This year, tight ends are a lot cheaper than what they've ever been before. And, we're getting 2 premium guys where that week 15 through 17, either one or both of them could get 20 plus in a week. And
people
that would
forget
buoy
this
you.
format, the underdog format, favors touchdown scorers. Tight ends do score touchdowns. This is not a PPR intensive site. So touchdowns are going to be king. You could see easily, Pitts or Kincaid or any one of these tight ends just having a monster game and putting up a 20 plus and filling in your flex spot that week. So it's not like 2 premium tight ends. One does well, the other one isn't scoring. No, he's rolling into the flex, especially on Underdog where, even an elite pass catcher, he only scores 1 touchdown, 150 yards. It's not bonuses. There's no PPR. The PPR is much less. So yeah, I could see that. I think what's noteworthy, Chris, is just the dearth of like how some things dry up. You get right here to round, these rounds. And yeah, the wide receiver position really dries up. Like Brian Thomas, it's very sketchy guys. Even Christian Watson was a reach here, by the way. I have him ranked higher than the field. Like I think that might have been a reach against ADP. I love him, but could probably get him the next round. So
there was one ranking that you had, or maybe not so much the ranking itself, but a note that I would like to discuss is the Rashee Rice. I think he is a great pick right now where he's going because yes, he's going to be suspended, but if he's at your wide receiver 5 on this team, your wide receiver 5 on your team, and he's missing at most 6 games. If he gets suspended at all this year, we really don't know, but he'll still be playing when it matters most at the end of the season.
If you don't make it, I'm gonna go against that. If you waste your 6th round pick on a guy who doesn't play 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, to me it's a minimum of 4, but could be 8. He's not scoring for you. You're not gonna make the playoffs. You're just not gonna get there. So yes, I don't think that Rashee Rice riding in on a white horse is actually what's gonna happen. Let me paint this scenario for you, Chris. Just hear me out. Hollywood Brown is there. Elite rookie wide receiver is there now.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce, he's a year into the relationship with Taylor. And you know what happens? When it's new, you're all excited about it. You ever she's so hot. Oh my God. Can't think of anything else. You know what I'm saying? And then like a year later, you're like, I'm used to this already. Like as hot as she looks, you've gotten used to it. Like, less distractions or more. I don't know. But I'm kidding around about that. But I think a lot of why Kelce was bad last year was because there was no competition for targets. I think a lot of why Rashee Rice was good last year was because he was the only guy on the team
who could catch the ball.
Yeah, who could catch a pass. You're laughing as if it's like, no, that actually happened. Like they literally could not catch a pass. You're talking Martez Valdez Scantling, and you're talking
Kadarius Toney.
Two Sky of the most Sky Moore. I'm going to give him a pass. But the other two guys are and Watson, not that much better, but they are some of the most notorious pass droppers in the National Football League. Like, to the point where you're like, how did you get to the NFL and not know how to catch a ball? Is this real? Right? Like, it almost seems not believable the way they drop. So by default, they had to throw to Rashee Rice. But I've dived into these stats a little bit, and you should note that Rashee Rice just didn't score any touchdowns. He barely scored any touchdowns. His air yards were minuscule. He's catching the ball within 4 to 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and running with it because, like, no one gave a shit. So I don't think Rashee Rice is going to win you your league.
He's not my flag plant either. I'm not over on any of these guys. So just to be fully out here, I am under 8% on every single Chiefs player besides Pacheco.
I think I would like to be over on Hollywood Brown.
I think they all just cannibalize each other in the end.
They do a little. Not one of them. You know, we've watched the team long enough. Like, unless you're Tyreek Hill or somebody like that, Mahomes is going to spread the football around. Or unless, like I said, I think Rashee Rice is going to be. I'm trading out of if Rashee. Let me put it like this: even if Rashee Rice didn't have the suspension, I would be trading out of him in Dynasty this year. I'd like to. He's max valued already. He's coming out of last year. You could not. His value was never going to be higher. Now, of course, he got into the accident that messed it up a little bit. The run-ins with the police that messed things up, and now he's going to have a suspension. So now you can't really sell him. But I was a big seller of Rashee Rice coming out of the season because I was like, you know what? As soon as they get somebody who doesn't suck at wide receiver, the 12 targets that Rashee Rice is getting is going to go down to 5 or 6, and he's just going to be unexciting.
I think there is like a two-headed bull case for Rashee Rice, and it's kind of like a pairing. You look at the end of the season. Do you think the Chiefs are going to be monitoring Travis Kelce's snap at the end of the season for the playoffs, like what they did last year?
I mean, I see what you're saying, and yes, he does.
And they run the same kind of route.
Yeah,
that's where that's the bull case, is that if Travis Kelce is being monitored at the end of the season and his snaps are being limited, Rashee Rice is going to go right into where he was running his route. That's where I can see it. And I think
I like the argument. I mean, I get it, but that is a stretch.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, if Hollywood Brown by week 17 is fucking dominating, and they realize, oh my God, we have an actual talented wide receiver that is a poor man's Tyreek Hill, and that's what he is. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it here. Controversial, not a rich man. He's a poor man's Tyreek Hill. The dude's fast. He runs deep patterns, and I would love to see what he can do with Pat Mahomes as his QB. Like,
what if he's just another Juju though?
What if he's everything that we hoped that
Juju would have been?
Hardman could. Forget Juju. Get out of here, Juju. He stunk when they brought him in. He could be everything that we thought Mecole Hardman was going to be. Like, we had this hope of deep ball, Pat Mahomes, a burner. That's what Hollywood Brown is. He's fast. He can score a touchdown. He's a big play wide receiver. He is Tyreek Hill, but not as good. Poor man.
And this is where you can go on DraftKings, and Xavier Worthy is a steal on DraftKings.
There you go. Another, where is his DraftKings? Yeah, that's a whole other thing. We'll do another video discussion on the difference between FanDuel and DraftKings ADPs right now. Weird and different, and I think they are noteworthy. DraftKings is an easier format to play on. The field is weaker on DraftKings. They're not as sharp. They're DFS players. Yeah, Underdog's field is literally only hardcore best ball people, where DraftKings, it's just your average, knucklehead DFS players that want to do some best ball, especially this week when there's no DFS happening and it's all summer.
You'll get your guys who are just like, I have my 12-person fantasy league that I run every year. Hey, let's put $20 down for the season and see what happens.
Yeah, and by the way, I love all these formats. For everybody who loves season long, I'm going to continue to say that playing leagues is a great approach for these best ball leagues. Get your friends together or do leagues against each other. Join the leagues that I've linked in the description below. It's fun. You get to draft a team for $5. And quite honestly, we just drafted a lotto ticket here on screen. And that's exactly what that is, Chris. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. You got to draft hundreds of these to have a shot at even finishing in the money. And yep. Even if you're awesome at fantasy football, you're probably going to make nothing back on these entries. I'm good enough. I feel I am personally good enough at drafting, especially drafting good ADP values, that I think I can beat a team of 12 people consistently. And that talent rankings and being a little better at ranking the players will shine through for me. Or at the very least, it's a great judgment on how good I was at my rankings for this year. So I can't judge myself based on if I won the freaking best ball, the BBM. I can't judge based on that. I can't judge myself on that, but I can judge myself based on, I entered 25 12-man leagues and I won more than 30% of them. That means I did pretty good this year at drafting my teams. Chris, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hour and 15 minutes. So you got to get back to what you're doing. If you guys enjoyed this, let us know in the comments section. What's your approach to best ball leagues in general? What style of league do you like more? Do you like the weeks 15, 16, and 17? Do you like the cumulative scoring? How do you guys like drafting? What's your favorite? And of course, make sure to sign up. Join in one of these. I'm switching those links as they expire, but get in on one of these leagues. Beat the Geek leagues on Underdog. We're having some fun. We're drafting. Chris, you're hitting me up every time I forget to draft, so I never miss a pick. I appreciate that. And oh my God, my phones are ringing nonstop here. So we're going to shut it down there. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time, everybody.